What's it like to be an American?
It's, well, I'm in the process of becoming one.
You're an American.
Yeah. I identify as America. I identify as an American. You know what's funny? Since I've come to America, I live in West Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And coming from Canada, where I'm originally from, you see, it's weird. People are proud to be Canadian. But lately they've been hating to be Canadian. But you live in a place like West Hollywood, what I love about America is it really is the American dream actually exists. But I see a lot here where I live is it's like almost an era where it's weird to be a patriot. Where I am.
Yeah.
In the area, and it's very, very odd because I fucking love America. I think this place is the best place in the world.
Yeah. Well, look at you. You traded the Canadian tuxedo. You got that nice linen shirt on. You've really embraced the Hollywood lifestyle. I love it. And the truth is, you went from Canada, a small town in Canada, to West Hollywood to L.A. What a difference.
Yeah, it's been. It's funny because it was my lifelong dream. And when I was 18 years old, my sister used to live in Santa Monica, 20th in California. I'll never forget it. I remember going down. I was big into fitness. I was like, I wanted personal training to be my life, which it ended up at a stage. I owned some gyms. It ended up becoming that for a while. And I remember one day I'm going to live down here. I don't know how, because they actually make it a lot harder to get to America. It's harder than it looks.
Oh, for sure.
They haven't removed me yet. I'm just kidding. but yeah, that was the dream, and it feels surreal being here. That was one of the bucket lists. If I made it, how we were talking earlier, like destination happiness. And then I realized it's not about just getting to California. It's about the journey. I used to always think once I get here, I'll be happy. Once I get here, I'll be happy. I chased that for a long time. But you know what? During that process, when I got to California for the first time in my life, I've been like actually stopping and looking around and be like, man, it is okay, just a little bit to relax and be appreciative for just being here.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing we discussed when we were in the gym, and I think that I want to go this route because you do coaching, you do personal branding, and I think there's a number of things that are important. So you and I met, like 2 years ago?
I was actually living in Seattle. I just moved to America. Yeah, 2.5 years, maybe 3.
Okay, yeah, it was a while back. And so you were just kind of like really like starting to build your personal brand and really commit to it.
Yeah.
And I've obviously watched you since. We had a conversation. We never really went anywhere after that with it, but we didn't really stay in touch, but we followed each other and we watched each other grow. And I think that it was pretty monumental to where this friendship has gone now and where we're at today. But for people that are watching this that are like, thinking about their personal brand, starting a business, getting online, creating content, like, you are a testament. I'm a testament, but this isn't about me. This is about you, right? Of like being consistent and showing up no matter what. Neither of us were good on camera when we first started.
Fuck no. I shared with some of my clients. I'm like, hey guys, just so you know, here, like when I first met you, I'm like, here's how I started. And I never stuck to anything. I would walk and talk. I would try everything instead of just following the process. And it's funny that you say that because I'm like, if I would have listened to what you would have told me 3 years ago, it took me, I know better. Like I always tell people this, like, find someone that knows what you're doing. Like, because it's like, if I would have listened to it, I would have saved myself the first year. The first year was like, you know how many times I was like, fuck this, I'm going to quit. I'm sick of putting myself out there in crickets. Maybe no one wants to hear what I want to say or have to say. And it was just like the amount of imposter syndrome. It was always like, I remember when I sold my gyms, it was like, okay, the reason I sold the gyms and got out of the fitness industry is like, I liked helping people, whether it's sobriety, personal. I'm like, well, I can help 30 people in a class, but the internet, I could help 8 billion people. I don't know in the world, but you get what I'm saying. And that was the big thing. And it's funny, just thinking back to when we first met, I was so afraid to go all in. Because I was like, I remember what you were like, oh, I knew you had, like when you were showing me all this stuff to do, you're like, you can do this. And I was like, I was so hesitant to trust the process, not real. And now that's funny because now I'm in the position, I was like, motherfucker was right the whole time. You know what I mean? It's like we're always our biggest enemy. We know better.
Yeah.
And
but listen, the stuff I was telling you isn't stuff I came up with.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Nothing I'm teaching is anything I came up with. I just deliver it better than most people.
Yes.
But either way, it's consistency. It is trusting a process. It is having the proper systems in play. And you know, my question for you is like, at what point was it like, okay, Jesus, take the wheel. I'm just gonna let the process work. If it works, it works.
This is the best. I love this question. It was the moment I finally stopped. I want to say caring what other people thought of me, because I was like, man, I know I have a gift, you know. And I used to think it was arrogant saying that, but I'm like, I firmly believe what I've been through in my life, the lessons, like, because I always speak to the old me, like all the lessons. Now I'm like, when we were talking today in the car, I'm like, what advice would I give myself? And I'm like, it wasn't until I was really like, you know what, almost like when I got sober, I use social media as the same thing, because I think social media has been one of the greatest gifts for me, because it also keeps me accountable. I have an obligation to live a certain way for myself. When you broadcast that to the world, it was like when I stopped hiding, I was like, I'm going to go all in on this. I'm going to be 100% authentically myself. That's when everything started changing. And it's funny because I tell people this, I'm like, the best thing in the world is we get to sit here and like be us.
Right.
That's given me more freedom than honestly any aspect of anything else in my life, is being able to be me. I think it was what I was so afraid of, you know, for so many years.
That response is incredibly honest. Imposter syndrome, allodaxophobia, which is the fear of people's opinions, caused you to not commit to a process. So fear. And I think that's where a lot of people are. It's like ego, fear, but I don't really even think it's ego, because it's like, what the fuck do we really have an ego for in that situation? It's purely fear, right? And it's like, oh my God, what if this doesn't work? Or what if this does work? Or is it a scam, right? Like we all know where people are like, oh, you know, everything's a scam, right? And then the people who are making it are like, well, that scam seemed to work pretty well for me.
Well, it's, you know, it's funny. It's like the blueprint, like we talked about. It's like, it's funny because it kind of unfolded how you were like, it's like, hey, if you just keep showing up, if you're not afraid, like at the start, you're gonna get judged by the circle you're around, because look where usually when we start, the circle that we're in is not really that far ahead. And what happens is, I did this for years. Everyone wants to change, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna go after this social media thing. Because I actually, deep down, I really want, you know, telling your friends that you want to go after this thing, usually they'll be like, oh, why are you doing that? You're crazy. And then you separate, and what happens is you get to no man's land. Like, it gets lonely. It was this pattern. I'd go back to what I said I didn't want, because I was like, get the foot out. And I'd be like, oh, don't like being alone. So I'm like, instead of just committing to no man's land for just a little bit of time, and then once I started doing that, you realize that you actually just make room for the next level. And the people that actually like I've met better people in the last 5 years than I have because everyone puts, like, you know, in a lot of people, like, they have the small town mindset, right? Like, what if I start leveling up friendships for 15 years? And I'm like, I've met better friends in 5 years. For 2 years, and I've had better friends I've known for 2 years than I've had for 15 years. You know, because a lot of people, like, when we start leveling up, I don't know, from like Michigan, it's like some of them, they can't handle, and I was a big people pleaser. So I was like, oh fuck, if I level up my life, Jared's not gonna like me, fuck. What about Jared? I'm like, well, Jared's probably not that good of a friend then if I level up my life and he's not happy for me. So it's a real easy way to weed out the people that aren't actually supposed to be in your life. And I realized that it actually gave me the freedom of loving to be alone, which took years.
I love everything you said is exactly true. Let me just tell you real quick about my experience with that. So it is lonely, right? You cut all the people, all right? And I'm not that far ahead of you in this process, but here's what I'm experiencing, and here's what is you can probably plan to experience, because you're right there, right? Like, you're doing this exactly right. Okay, so you cut the people. And it's hard, right? Because they're constantly there. You have memories. You have, like, comfort. Yep. You have safety. You have consistency with them and the things that you'd be able to get quick thrills out of. You cut them out entirely. You go into no man's land. It's very lonely. Then all of a sudden you come up. Right where you're at right now is where you come up. right? And then you blow up, and you're like right there. You're at like come up, blow up portion right there. Okay. And then you get used to you start getting introduced to new people. Now you're in Southern California, by the way.
Yeah.
So now like you're close by me, which means that you're going to be coming with me to different things. You're going to start to meet people like Keith Yackey, all the guys that are in this whole scene right here. And you're going to be like, holy fuck, like this exists. I'm going to, we're going to go hang out with Jay. We're going to do all kinds of really cool things. You're going to be like, holy shit, like this is the world that like we all talk about.
Yeah.
And then you're going to, this is brutal. You're going to forget about all of it.
Yeah.
I am so fucking numb to what's going on back home, what's going on with my old scene, what's going on with my old friends. Like they reach out to me all the time. And once in a while they'll go, and it'll be like positive, but they'll be like, I can't believe how far you've come. I remember when you first this, or I remember back when then. And in my head, I have to rack my memory to see if I even remember them.
Yeah.
Bro,
that is so
I got a
on.
DM the other fucking day, and the guy was like, yo, man, I can't believe how far you've come. I've been watching you on Instagram. I remember when we used to chill. I DM'd him back. When did we chill?
Yeah.
I don't even know that guy.
But would you know the old, like I love that way you're talking, because like this, I just love to say new levels, new devils. Mm-hmm. Every area. It's like, it's crazy because I went home recently, back to Canada, and I went back to like the town I was from, and I had like when I first got sober, my mom got cancer. I had friends that I'd literally gave mattresses to come work for me, apartments, and anyway, during this whole period of time, again, I was like Mr. Pot, big fish, small pond, and I wanted everybody to like me. So I'd put everybody before myself. And I remember I had a couple friends slander me on the internet. Freaking mom had cancer. and then I cold turkey got sober. And it's funny, it wasn't until I had the courage to be alone. I'm like, you know what? This is the first time in my life I have the opportunity to be disliked. Like, all right, let's see what, now I might as well be the real me, because I've fucking put on this, I don't even know if it was a facade. I was generally kind of being myself, but you know what I mean? It was like, now I'm going to go fuck it. I've given so many, I've done everything I can, still getting burned, because in life it just happens, friendships, some are for seasons and some are for, depends how long. But it was kind of like I went back home this last time, and it was crazy because I realized that, that person you're saying that you don't remember, it was wild. I went home and I was like, man, even the shit I thought I used to want to be like, I don't want to be like anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I'd be around things. I'm like, and it almost started making me feel like the old me. I was like, holy fuck, this is why I worked so hard to become the person I am today. Cause that was it's crazy when you have these like realizations, right? It's like,
here's something I battle with, and I'm going to ask you, do you feel like you're better than it? Do you feel like you're better than them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing it's a weird feeling. You know what I mean? Cause
let's dissect that.
Yeah.
I haven't had this conversation on a podcast before. You put everything into yourself. You take risks. You stay consistent. Mm-hmm. You go after delayed gratification. You start earning the things that you're working for. You arrive. You realize that everything from the past was holding you back. Mm-hmm. You see the people in the past that are still in the same exact place. And not only that, they're sending negativity your way, whether it's indirect or direct. You are better than them. Mm-hmm. And that's brutal. But let's dissect it a little bit.
You took the craziest thought.
Then go. You go.
Well, it's like what you just said, because it's a weird. It's for other people. It may sound weird if you don't know the feeling, but it was like I have a friend who I've been friends with for a long time. And in exactly what you're saying, right? You took the risk. You were risked at the beginning. They do call you crazy, because really no one should believe in you before you've done anything, because you haven't. That's like what most people live off. You stop, expecting applause, or to be applauded. But it was like this. I have a friend, and it was like, these people that that you've kind of moved past, and it's like they all had the chance to go with you. That's the biggest thing I tell myself, because it's the truth. Because like I'm an empath, so I feel. It's just in me. It's kind of rooted deep to always want to bring everybody with me. But and it's like when you feel like this feeling that you described, it was like people will almost like, I don't know if you get this, like I've had a friend who kind of like, it's like it's a competition when we used to be. So when I talk to them, it's still like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, oh, just going for lunch down in Venice. Like, you had to throw that in. I'm like, hey, bro.
Must be nice.
Well, no, it's like, hey, bro, I don't know how to tell you this. I'm not in competition with you because I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't want to compete with anything. Like, I don't want your life.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't want to tell you this, but it's not we're in the same league. It's just like, hey, bro, like my friendships aren't like, if the only competition there is like, us getting a hand, like, man, I want to learn. Yeah. It's like, like the competition happens at the bottom, but the people that are doing well are collaborating, because that was a big thing that I found. It was like, hey man, like that better than you. Like, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, brother, but I know you're like kind of saying comments to me like we're in a competition, but this isn't a competition because you haven't done the work, and that's why your life is the way it is.
In the game of life, you are beating.
Yeah.
So if you take two teams or a match of something, take a boxing match, and the two people square up, they fight, one person lands more punches, and even if they don't knock them out entirely, they land way more punches, they're a better fighter, they're better.
Yeah.
If you're the one who takes the risks, you get the wins, you take the losses, you take the rewards, you build your record, you build your confidence and all of that stuff. In the game of life, on the scoreboard, you're better. And that's okay.
Well, the other part of that is people will be like, you're so, like, should I, have friends like, oh, it must be nice, or you think you're so, I'm like, wait a second, bro. Would you rather me hate my life? Would that make you happy?
It would.
Yeah, because it's like, then what kind of friend are you? Because
not a friend.
Yeah.
They need to be cut.
Yeah. And loyalty has an expiration date. That's what I tell everybody.
Well, yeah.
Like, people are loyal to people. Well, I've been buddies with, like, bro, I see that guy. He doesn't clap when you win. He wants you to go cheat on your girlfriend with him and go to the bar. Like, that is not a friend. But people stay loyal to people way too long in their life. And that was me. I did that forever. Like, well, I've known him since I was in high school. I'm like, well, has he ever wanted me to, change all the shitty habits?
Yeah.
Because if people support the shitty habits, they're just factually, they're a shitty friend. And people are so, like, this is something I dealt with for a long time. And I think it was a self-worth issue for me. I didn't actually have the self-love for myself because I couldn't be alone, And I used to think that, now I look at vulnerability. People can say whatever the fuck they want because I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt. I used to think that made me tough, all that stuff. But now I realize, like, it wasn't until I started to find the freedom that I, maybe from a young age with my dad, all that stuff. But, being able to let people go was like one of the biggest things that's changed my life.
Well, earlier you said, must be nice people, and that's a cutting point for me.
Yeah.
If I have an old friend that I'm doing something and I tell them, and I've been very selective now with who I tell, like, what I'm doing.
Yep.
And I don't crowdsource. But because it's actually ruined more relationships.
Yeah.
If I go and I buy something or I do something cool or I have a great experience and stuff like that, and somebody's like, oh, it must be nice, I do not even think anymore.
You think that person fucking is happy? You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm sure, yeah.
Cut. Forgotten.
Yep.
Gone.
Because what kind of friendship are you ever going to build on that?
There's nothing.
No.
You're wasting each other's time.
Yeah. It was kind of like we talked about today. It's like, when you have, the other thing is, like, jealousy is probably like the biggest, I don't want to call it a disease. It's like, because I always use this, there's like let envy be your teacher. Per se.
Well, envy and drive are two different things, right? And, like, I think, envy or jealousy especially is like, oh, that person has something that I don't and I'll never have.
You want to hear something really vulnerable?
Yeah.
When I first met you and you, like, reached out to me, this is why I stayed stuck. I was jealous. I remember I watched yourself. I'm like, fuck, what is this? Like, I don't know, this same thing. Like, this guy must be, you remember we were talking about, because he's like, he just has what I want. Seriously, and it wasn't until I realized that anytime I felt it, then I'm just being brutally vulnerable, like, honest with you, I would be like kind of hating, but this is when we first met and we didn't work together, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it myself, like, just run my head into a wall 50 times. And then I'd like watch videos, and deep down I kind of had, I was working off jealousy, not a good kind of envy. Instead I'd be like, what can this person show me? Because that's always what jealousy is. It's a trigger. And then it was like, man, you know what? I can probably learn a ton, but when I first met you, I just remember having that feeling.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Thanks for being straight up. I mean, that's great. I'd never want to like. It's funny too because
that's just like that's just the raw. Honest
I know. I appreciate that vulnerability.
Yeah.
And that's why I fucking hate. Freddie will tell you. I told him, obviously we're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I don't show the cars, the watches, and stuff like that, then I don't have shit and I haven't accomplished anything because that's social media standards. If I do show the stuff, then I'm arrogant and flashy and I rented my cars or whatever. Like, okay, like, again, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. But even, and Freddie will tell you, like lately, and especially in the last 6 months, I've been like, hey, less Louis Vuitton. I'm not wearing shirts that have any brands on them. Like I'm fucking over it because I don't want to create envy. I want to create possibility.
Possibility, yeah.
The last thing I want people to do is to see me, on a boat, on a vacation, things like that, and be like, oh, he's rubbing it in my face. But at the same time, if you see that stuff in my content, that's because that's how I live my life.
When you have to trigger something.
Yes.
Because, like that's what I was saying when we first met. Like I always say like, I'm 100, like you said, when you meet someone, I'm like, I'm 100% myself. So I'm like, why wouldn't I tell you that part of the story? Because now it's part of our story. It's like, it's like in the trigger.
I appreciate that more than you know.
Yeah.
That takes a fucking man to say something like that.
When it's the triggers of the truth.
That wasn't my intentions at all. And now,
of course not. It was me. It was a me issue.
Well, and now you know me.
Yeah.
We've spent the day in person together, and you know that I am exactly the person that I say that I am. But more importantly, you are the person that says that you say you are. And spending the day with you, like I've learned more than you even talking. Yeah. Let me tell you something, because I've been watching you for the last few years. You have like mannerisms about you, and like you have like kind of like quirks, whatever it is. I haven't really put my thumb on it yet, but it's like I see it in your content now, and I'm like, this dude is the most authentic guy I've ever seen. And I absolutely love that about you, because it does show. And listen, I've had a lot of influencers, and not I hate saying influencers, but like I've had a lot of people that have social media
Followings.
And do all of that I've met in person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're fucking boring.
Yeah. You
are the most boring person in the world. Now, I've yet to have a boring person come on this show. I've yet to invite a boring person to Huntington Beach, because I've been at this long enough where I can tell through their social media if they're going to be a cocksucker when I meet them in person. And I've met enough other people on social media at events to know that the juice ain't worth the squeeze with that one, if you know what I mean, and based on their content.
Oh, yeah.
When I see vacation content that's highly produced, I know they went on vacation to produce content.
Oh, don't get me going about this one.
Okay? Like, you see my vacation content, it's from my phone. It's from whoever I'm with.
It's from your regular life,
it's
too, though.
Freddie doesn't go on vacation with me. He wants to.
I was like, even though you should, bro, but...
Freddie doesn't go on vacation with me.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing a cameraman to go on boats that, by the way, are ours. You know what I mean? They're not fucking rented. Like, none of that shit you see in my content is bullshit. It's all actual stuff, and that's why we don't have photographers around, because I'm fucking spending time with people I love.
Yeah.
And we don't have time to create content on that stuff because we have shit to do. Businesses to run, family to enjoy. Like, what the fuck? None of
I feel like the area of wanting to be seen used to be, and this is why I don't want to say that's why I'm starting to. I've had traction. It used to be wanting to be seen. Now now it's about being heard, and it's like like you said, the authenticity area. I film I just do, like you said, day-to-day life like we're doing, and then it's like all those times of fucking enjoyment. I'm going for date night. Like that's a big part of my life. Like why like you said, I'm not going to have a videographer for following me around when this is just our everyday life.
Right.
There's
times for content and there's times for regular life. And that's what the forward-facing camera's for. If you want to create content out of your everyday life, that's fantastic. But you don't need to fucking put lipstick on a pig. Be a pig.
Because the other thing is, like, I always tell everybody this. They're always like, and you know this, because it's like sometimes you want to grab people that you're working with to build their brands. It's like, look, dude, every video you're coming across is an expert. And it's like, they're not relatable.
No.
Like, do you know how many days I don't want to fucking turn my phone around and speak to but I've made a commitment that I do every day. And it's like, but we're in the day and age of, like we were talking about, there's no trust. So how would you expect it? It's almost like, and like you said, then you meet these people and you're like, this person's a fraud, literally. Because all I know them as is this, like, hi, I'm fucking perfect and my life is awesome all the time. And you don't realize by doing that, you just shoot yourself in the foot in every area. Because social media is like, you meet someone, you don't even know what's going to come of the meetings. Personal brand, whether it's coaching, it can go anywhere. You know what I mean? But if you're unauthentic, no one's going to know. If they don't know you, if they don't get past the no, they will never like and trust you.
No. And by the way, the person that comes off like an expert on everything, nobody likes a know-it-all.
Someone that knows nothing someone that knows everything knows nothing.
Goddamn.
It's just,
dude, I tell people all the time. I was on a client call yesterday, and I was like, you're really smart, aren't you? And he's like, yeah. And I go, you overthink everything, don't you? Yeah. You struggle with women too, don't you? Yeah, I can't get a date to save my life.
Crazy.
How's your sales? And what do you think about the gym? Oh, dude, I just don't like lifting weights. I said, you do realize that the dummies, the guys who don't know it all,
oh yeah,
we get the hottest women.
Yep.
We're the best in sales. We excel at things in the gym and physical activity and stuff like that, which actually it really is what matters. And by the way, we're also selling. Yeah. So we're making money, right? And we live the best life because we're not overanalyzing everything. Motherfucker, turn your fucking brain off.
I could overanalyze putting these chucks on my feet.
Oh,
if I wanted to,
right.
It's like the do it now analogy you have.
I do it now.
Yeah, I wish I. You know what I was saying to that? The only regret is I wish I would have learned this. That's why, like, people that are listening, it's like, dude, I love this. I used to think, like, when someone's older or someone's far ahead giving you advice, I was like, yo, Dave, you dumbass. Now do you realize in your 30s that, like, my ex-father-in-law used to taught me a lot. Everything he was trying to tell me, it's like, because it's like lessons learned the hard way, so you don't have to. And like that, like I was the biggest procrastinator.
Dude, move fast. Success and speed are married at the hip. They'll never get divorced. It'll never happen. Success and speed move extremely fast. It's just, you have to, and do shit now.
I like what you said, even if you make the wrong decision.
Yeah, well, the only wrong decision is indecision.
Is indecision,
right?
Yes.
And the faster you make the wrong decision, the faster you can learn, which is the faster that you can get your next win. I do it now, and it's so funny because I repeat that in my head over and over again. I've talked about it numerous times. That is like my mantra. I say it every day, hundreds of times a day, and it applies to every little thing that I do in my life. But it has turned my life into the most incredible life. It has turned my home into the cleanest fucking home you've ever walked into, and it's just me in there. It's turned my routine into a fucking ironclad, bulletproof. You cannot fuck with me. It has brought me more success. It has brought me better friendships. I show up on time. I am always energetic. I can keep my shit out of 10. And it's all because I don't have anything hanging out there.
Yep.
Even little things where it's like, dude, for example, I get home today from the gym, and I take my hoodie off when I go to make breakfast. I will take my hoodie and literally walk it upstairs to my closet and hang it up. It could be fine sitting on the chair.
Tell my wife that, because I got to.
Seriously, because I know that if I'm looking at it while I'm making breakfast, I'm like, I have to hang that up later. Want to know what goes on? I do it now.
No.
So before I pull my food scale out, before I do anything else, I go and I grab that hoodie and I bring it upstairs and I hang it up. Now, some people would say that's OCD, right? I'm not OCD.
Yeah,
I'm the most fucking ADHD, all over the place motherfucker you've ever met. I'm wired now. I have told myself so many fucking times, I do it now. I am the person who does things now. I am the person who does not make lies or tell lies to myself. I am the person who commits to saying that I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I'm not going to do it later. I'm going to do it fucking now. Yep. Right now. And guess what? I have more freedom than anybody else.
I was going to say it's weird.
I have more time. I have more money. I have more friends. I have more relationships. I have more of everything. I have more abundance than ever because I've wasted no fucking time. None.
Yeah, I was thinking, it was like, it's funny because like, the guy you're describing who knows everything. It's like what people don't realize about anything in life. Like if I could tell anybody anything, it's just listen what you're saying. It's like, whatever you're doing, relationships, what we said, there's no good ones out there. If you build the person first, that's where I lacked all these years. Like, I was fitness. I used to think fitness would, if I had abs, I'd be confident. I neglected all the areas. And it wasn't until I realized, if you build the person first, like I tell everybody this before business, when I had my gyms, man, if I did well in the gym industry, and I was like, if I would have built I would have 10x'd everything I did. Like if you build the person first, you need to before you build a good business. Because someone who doesn't have their life dialed in, because never build anything worthwhile that lasts long. And that's why a lot of people spend a lot of their life not being able to do anything because they haven't focused on the one thing that actually moves the needle, and it's them.
Right. Right. Yeah, and the discipline will carry you through everything. Because that's ultimately what we're talking about.
Sobriety, all that stuff.
All of it.
But when people ask you, what's changed your life? What's been the biggest thing that's changed your life? What would you say?
I took the thinking out of it. I took exact direction, and I applied discipline to every area of my life. And what's changed?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy? It's fucking wild. People think it's some sort of this, I'm sure you get this. How'd you do it, man? Mm-hmm. I wish wishing is for fucking Santa Claus, number one. And it's like the recipe, the recipe's not that hard to live a better life. It was you know what I mean? It's just getting out of our own fucking way and doing.
Well, you started off, you said two words at the very beginning of that last statement. You could have stopped there.
Yeah.
People think.
Yeah.
You're thinking.
Yeah.
Your way of thinking doesn't work. My way of thinking doesn't work. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work.
Yep.
Unless you're a savant, if you have not arrived and if you don't have any plans of arriving anytime soon, and you've tried and tried and tried again, or you've tried and failed and quit more than anything, more than failing, they've quit, then your way of thinking doesn't fucking work. You need to have a new way of thinking, which is turning that shit right off because it's pointless.
When they think you're they'll look at you and be like, well, Justin, you just don't get it, man. And it's really? Because if I would look at your life, and I know you get this, it's hey, man, I'm depressed, and I'm like, well, hey, man, let me look at a week of your life. Tell me what goes on. You're like, well, I sleep in every day. I drink on the weekends. I haven't been going to the gym. Maybe I've been doing drugs on the weekend. I'm fighting with my girlfriend. I'm like, hey, man, just so you know, I know you think I have it all figured out. You have it all figured out. If I lived half of a week in your life, I'd be more miserable than you. Mm. So it's not actually me and you. It's your decisions that you're making, which I made for years.
Right. Well, I was just about to say.
Why you're fucking miserable, bro.
Right.
You are the reason. And it's crazy because it's the this ego we talked about. It's bro, now at my stage of my life, I'll let a fucking 15-year-old give me a better way of doing something. Mm-hmm. If it's this action, I'm like, shit, bro. It's the ego is removed. Because I've done so many things wrong thinking I know the best. Mm-hmm. And that's the crazy part about changing your life. It's it's really, that, what it is what would be, it really is that simple. Mm-hmm. It really fucking is.
It is. It is that simple. And I don't pretend to have a rags to riches story whatsoever, but I can tell you this. I started my life over here not knowing anybody. I wheeled 2 hampers of clothes from a sober living home to a 700 square foot apartment. I sat in there. I got my first get well job at an auto group, which was a nice job. And then I met another cat that wanted to teach me how to become an online coach. I paid him. I did exactly what he told me. It didn't work, but I still paid him and I still tried. And then I paid another person. I did exactly what they told me. It worked pretty good. And then I paid another person. They told me what to do. I did exactly that. It worked really fucking good. And then before you know it, I was able to start living the life of my dreams, continuing to pay people to have them and tell me exactly what to do, and it continued to work. I do not have a rags to riches story. I want to make that very, very fucking clear. But I do have a story.
Did you feel like an imposter? Were you scared?
All of it.
Right.
All of it. But I didn't care because I saw other people doing it that knew how to do it, and I paid them.
Yep.
And I knew that as a car guy and as somebody who's been in sales my entire life, that it's not that I have a huge money motivation, but I understand the value of a dollar. And being somebody who's been in sales my entire life, I have an understanding of that it's not guaranteed. So I need to go out and hunt for me to be able to eat, right? It's not a W-2 check that you get for working hours. I'm not putting a hairnet on and putting fucking caps on a toothpaste tube, right, at an assembly line. I have to go out and hunt and earn it. So I've been doing that my entire life. That's the only way I've ever been paid is commission. So for me, it was like, okay, well, when I was in the auto industry and selling cars, what did I do? Well, I listened to my managers who knew exactly who sold a lot of cars before when they were in sales, and they would tell me how to go and greet people, how to talk to people, how to take a customer needs analysis, how to close people, how to show people cars, how to do stuff. And I just did what they would tell me how to do. Anytime that I would not try to do it my way, a customer would walk out the door and not buy anything. So then I'd go, oh, fuck, why didn't I just follow their process? And then I'd go back to following their process. I have a 20, 30 car month. So it was literally the same thing. But I also knew that if I wasn't invested, or if I wasn't making any money, or if it was somehow monetarily going to affect me, then it would force me to do it. Because I've been commissioned my entire life. I've had to hunt my entire life. So for me, it was a matter of monetary investment. And I think a lot of people that get into things like this and into this world, they've never been in sales before. They've never been in a sink or swim situation because they've worked a job that was hourly most of their life.
Well, they say it's not about the money. And they're like, well, it's not about the money. It's, like I was talking to you, I just want to do what I'm passionate about.
Well, good luck. And
I'm just like, well, good luck fucking keeping that passion.
Right.
When I got into the fitness industry, I'm like, I love jiu-jitsu. Well, I had a successful workout, group fitness studio. Like I was saying, working out has nothing to do with owning a gym. And I was like, well, I love jiu-jitsu. I'm so passionate about it. I'm going to open a jiu-jitsu gym. Well, this is where I gave the shirt off my back and lost money. I paid Rod Peter to pay Paul for 2 years. And that's why, in any industry, people say, it's not about the money, but if you're not getting paid for your value, you're going to fucking hate what you're doing real fast.
Yep. The concept is a Hindu concept called seva, really. If you're in a service industry, it's that you earn more so you can give more. And you have to. And it's the same concept in every religion, every spirituality, where it is, sow good seeds, reap a good harvest. And it's okay. You're allowed to profit.
Yeah.
And to that point, anybody that is like married to the idea of passion over profit, it sounds like the fat person, skinny person that says real beauty's on the inside. Like, okay, bro, you only say that because you don't have it.
Well, you said the person who actually gets the results is the people that pay attention, the people that really want it. Otherwise, you just you surround yourself with the people that don't actually want to make the change. And you're like, fuck this, I hate this.
Yeah. This is a really good conversation. This is important stuff. And I hope people that are watching this, that are uncertain about what to do and that are unhappy with their current career, their current trajectory in life, that like you got to realize, like, most of us, now there are your outliers. There are people that pieced it together and learned it and put it and did really well. But the vast majority of people are not doing it that way. And the vast majority of people are getting extreme guidance, direction, and taking account and getting accountability from
saving
people.
Massive amounts of time.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing too, is that like you're going to be hard pressed to ever find success in anything if you value money over time.
Yeah.
I don't really know many people that value money over time that are successful. I know a hell of a lot of broke people that value money over time.
You start getting older and you're like, wow. The years become, you know what I mean? You're like, you start realizing that you start realizing even more the currency of time, because you're like, holy shit, you wake up and you're like, it actually starts to becoming a reality.
Well, and that's just it. And I can tell you firsthand, and I'm a perfect example of this myself, that I'm a person that valued time over money, that paid a ton of money to save a lot of time, that now you get to see what I get to do.
Yep.
This is my daily life.
Yep.
Yesterday I was podcasting on a fucking Cessna 180 plane,
Steaks
having fun.
And weight plates.
Steaks, weights, fucking hanging out with Freddie, doing cool shit. We go to the pool every weekend. We get to do whatever we want.
Well, you know what they don't see, though?
It doesn't matter.
A lot of people don't see is all the hours of wondering if it's going to work, thinking you're crazy,
being sick.
Anxiety, up at night because you're like, this might not work. And am I crazy?
I still have that.
Oh yeah.
I still get, concern, worry. Oh, we got payroll coming up. I got to do this, and this. And there's always pressure.
You could find a reason to quit fucking 100 times a day.
Oh my God. Still to this day, there's still pressure all the time when you're an entrepreneur. There's no doubt. There's more pressure now. The stakes are higher. But at the end of the day, I still have my freedom of time.
When after the more hard stuff you do, you're like, I've done this, knowing that it's going to forever be hard, like you said.
Yeah.
You just get better at I don't quit.
Yeah.
I just do. Whatever comes my way, I overcome. It's
yeah.
Because that's another thing. People I used to always think I'd get to this point where it wasn't hard anymore, and then you realize it actually gets harder. You just get better at making hard decisions because you do it now.
Wow. You're learning. You're learning. You know something I love about you though, in this whole conversation and just being with you today, is that all of this shit that we are talking about, all of these topics, all of this stuff around, what I love about you after this week is, or after this day, is that everything that we've talked about, you are so passionate about, and that's why I love it, because we match each other's energy. It's a fantastic vibe, and
we don't need caffeine.
No, not at all. Yeah, thanks Blake at BLK for that that drink you made us. It was really caffeinated. I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I normally ask you this question, but I like to predict. I believe that you are truly passionate about this because you saw this work actually change your life. I make the comment about I'm a fantastic transformation coach. I'm a fantastic sobriety coach and a weight loss coach. I consider myself the best at what I do, and Jonathan and I are the best at what we do with what we do, and we are still coaches. The reason is because I was coached. I had great experiences. I've had bad experiences. I've had great experiences being coached. I have built my company, my coaching business, Justin Wenzel Fitness, off of everything that I teach in JWX. Therefore, I am not just the president of Hair Clubs for Men. I'm also a client. Have you ever heard that before? It's an old marketing campaign for a hair growth company. Yeah. I didn't use it.
I was going to say I might need it soon.
It's an old, the guy who owned Hair Clubs for Men, that was the saying. I'm not only the president of Hair Clubs for Men, I'm also a client. And that's how I wanted, I can remember my dad always saying that as a kid. And I think not to bust my dad out, but he's also struggled with this situation. And he used to always say, I'm not only the president of Hair Clubs for Men, I'm also a client. That's so fucking authentic. I applied JWX principles to Justin Wenzel Fitness, and therefore I have a successful coaching business. I'm not only the president of Hair Clubs for Men, I'm also a client. I am good at coaching, and I am passionate about this topic because coaching changed and in some cases saved my life. Is this why you are? Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get emotional, but I had from the outer exterior, I had everything. I tried everything. I made more money, did the white picket fence house, marriage, and I guess I hated the person I saw in the mirror, and if I didn't share what's changed my life, I would be doing the world a disservice, because I was once lost. I mean, I was jail, rehab, DUIs, crashed cars into telephone poles, to living in West Hollywood, California with the love of my life, and I owe everything to the lessons that I share, and I wouldn't be who I am today without any of it. And I just feel like other people need to hear it because I'm so passionate about it, because getting to wake up and love the person I see in the mirror and be myself is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. And if I can do it, anybody else can really. It's through the things that we talk about, it's through the things on the daily basis to remove it. People ask, well, how can I live a better life? I'm like, well, it starts with the people in your life. Do they make your life better? Do they add value? It's not about money. Do they root for you when they win? Because if they don't add value, there's no fucking reason being in them in your life. And, we're just removing the things that don't add up to the person you want to be. And I owe everything in my life to that. Like, knowing what it feels like to hate who you see in the mirror. A lot of people live this their whole life, because they're too afraid to be themselves. But you don't realize that being yourself is the superpower you have. And once you start doing that, everything that you ever dream of is on the other side of that fear, you know, of really being you and really following through on your word. And that's why I owe everything in my life to. So.
Fuck. We're going to end it there. You are one of the most, if not the most authentic guests that I've had on this podcast. And it's not just your interview here. It's been the entire day. What I see, and this is my first time spending an actual time in person with you, and what I see on social media to the man that I see right here is the exact same person. And I fucking love that, man. Like, I'm so excited to have more future things with you and do more stuff with you. Same. This is going to be a fantastic relationship. And the fact that you live up the road now. It's crazy. Life is just great. Guys, if you like what you saw, make sure you click subscribe. Make sure you like, comment, do all the things to help us out. We want to get people out there. We want to get this message out there. This was a fantastic show, and I appreciate you guys staying this long if you have. Tune in next time on the Justin Wenzel podcast. We're fucking out.